Hey guys, welcome back to Journey of Crafting. So today we're going to do a couple things. We are going to mat our pages that we have created. I've already matted a lot of mine. It is a little time consuming. So for the sake of the video, to save some time, I went ahead and I matted, because remember that we made we made 4 pages. So I went ahead and matted these, and I left this one so we could do together. I did put everything together as far as like I cut all the pieces, and I'll go over how to cut everything with you guys. But also in today's video I want to show you guys how to make the binding. So this binding is going to be slightly different, but it's the same exact concept as the last album that I made with you guys. So we're going to set these aside for now. What we're going to do is you can cover this in several different ways. You can use, whatever glue you want. Wet glue, dry glue. I wouldn't use a glue stick, especially if you want these things to last. So I'm just going to use my ATG tape. And the first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make this photo mat here. And okay, so I wanted to show you guys how I made all of these little pieces. So our basic mat is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4, and if you're writing these measurements down, then that measurement should be part of your book, part of your note taking rather. Now this, basically all I did with this is I laid this down across my little measurement here, and I decided how far in, how short I wanted this piece to be, and then I cut. So I cut a 1/2 inch off of this main page. So instead of being 6 1/4, it's 5 1/4. Then I did the same thing with the width. That was tricky. Okay, so you go across here and you decide how far in you want to go. So again, here I went in, I went in an inch here as well. So I took an inch off of the 4 1/4 and 6 1/4, and I ended up with 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then with this, you just take that 1/4 inch off and you end up with 3 by 5. Honestly, that's all I did with all of these pieces. I laid them on my grid here, and I took my little scrap piece of paper here, however long it was, I made it flush with the edge here, and then I decided how much to take off. So we're going to go ahead and stick these down. Okay, this one's going underneath a belly band, so I'm going to use, you know what, I don't think the glue or the gun will be that bad. Alright. Okay. So you just line this up like so. Okay. Also, something I wanted to show you guys real quick is if you have a magnet closure, go ahead and put this on before you do any of your matting. You don't want to put your magnets on after you do your matting, because then your magnets will show. So you definitely want to put those on before you do any matting. And all of the magnets are slightly different. The ones that I have do not have self-adhesive on them, so you have to glue them to whatever it is you're making. So I just used hot glue because it's going to be covered anyway. And I'm just continuing to glue on my mats here. So all of your glue, or all of your magnets will be covered anyway. This is one of the mats. Now I did show you guys how to measure this out if you wanted to create a mat, but a lot of my mats and my pages were honestly just scrap pieces of paper that I measured a mat for. That way I was utilizing all of the scraps. And I'll show you what I mean in just one second. Okay, so, no, that one's not going to work. This one, oops. So this one here, I measured out the map for this one, or the photo map for this one, rather. But for this one happened to be big enough to go outside of the pocket, but this one was a scrap, and these were also scraps. Okay, but that's what I mean by that. Okay. And some of them I matted the back, and some of them I did not. I might go back and remat the backs. I'm not sure yet. Basically, like I said, I was using up the scraps on here. So we are going to continue to cover our, we're going to continue to put our decorative paper on our page that we created. And this shouldn't take too long, especially if you pre-cut everything, as I did. Now, pre-cutting everything is good for several reasons, because you can save time with it, but you'll be able to look at where you want to put everything. Continue to lay down our tape. And like I said, you can use whatever adhesive you want here. And, oh, as you'll notice too, this is where one of my magnets are. And I don't know if you guys can see the hot glue or not, but that's where the hot glue is. And this will all be covered. So we're going to put our stick. I forgot about this part. Whenever you do a magnet closure, make sure that you put extra adhesive right around the magnet. Now, personally, I think it depends on my mood, honestly, because I've used tape and I've used the beacon. But throughout this album, I have used just a big glob of beacon and just kind of put it all over the magnet. And then you just put your mat on there. Okay. Now, when you have a magnet, make sure you pick up your paper to close your paper all the way around. Because if you just push it down, it's not going to work. It's not going to grab under here. Like right here, there's a little gap right there from where the magnet is. You need to make sure that you push that down with your fingers, because there will be a gap there because of the difference in dimension. And if any of the, like, I keep pushing this, and if any of the glue squeezes out, just rub it off. Okay, and moving on. And there we go. So, it's been about 20 minutes and I have completely covered this page. And I have made all of the photo mat inserts to go with it. So, I don't remember where everything went. Oh, that's on the outside. What about this one here? What about this one here? That's another thing too, is if you make them small enough, you can just move things around wherever you want. I like that there. Okay. And then this one goes here. I don't remember how I had this. I don't remember. Okay. So I had all of this like completely laid out. And then your photo mat here. So you remember when we first made our pages, how they just kind of like sat there like this, where one part goes into the spine and the other part is just an open pocket? Well, that open pocket is perfect place for a photo mat. And so for these photo mats, these were super simple too. Basically, the only thing that I did with these is I made this black portion the same size, or the same height as the 4x6 decorative papers that we already cut out. And then I made it just a slightly bit wider. I'm sorry. So instead of 4 1/4, I made it 4 1/2. That way, when I slid it in, it would poke out. It doesn't really poke out right now because our page is not on a binding. It pokes out just a tiny bit, but when it gets on the binding, it should poke out just a little bit more. So, what we are going to do now is we're going to make our binding system, which will be super easy. So go ahead and grab any scraps that you might have from this and set your pages aside. Grab any scraps that you might have. This particular piece was 5 inches. I did cut it down. I actually ended up I had to cut this completely because I didn't have any scraps left. But all I did was to make it uneven, just to show you guys you can use your scraps. I cut it to 5 inches across, and then the height, you do need it to be tall enough because you need it to hold your pages, and your pages are 6 1/4 tall, so you need this binding system to be 6 1/4 tall. You don't want it to be as tall as your cover because you don't want it to poke out of your cover. Let's see if I can show you guys in here. So I don't even know if you're going to be able to see this, because that's kind of the whole purpose of this particular binding system, is for it to be a hidden hinge. And as I've said in previous videos, I did not create this system, I just use it a lot. It is one that I found that is fairly simple to create. Excuse me. So I do use it. Man, I don't know what is going on with my voice. I don't know if my allergies are just in hyper overdrive, but my throat is so scratchy, and I apologize so much for that, guys. So you take your scrap piece of paper and you take the height, which is 6 1/4. Now, along that 6 1/4 length, you're going to start scoring inwards or outwards. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go ahead, and I did go ahead and do this, 1, to save time, but 2, so I could show you guys. Where's my score sheet for this? But so I could show you guys. You're going to end up scoring to where you have, it's like, wait a minute. So you have, this is going on top of, I think I have a 1/2 inch score tape. No, I don't. I have an inch score tape, which is not going to work. So this is going to go on top of your spine in your book, in your album. Okay, now I'm showing you guys this for a couple reasons. Well, the biggest reason is so you could do it, but I wanted to go ahead and tape this so I could show you guys what I was talking about if I don't lose my train of thought. I do that a lot. My husband picks at me because, like, my daughter really picks at me because we'll be talking and just all of a sudden I completely change the subject. I don't even realize that I'm doing it, which kind of honestly makes me wonder how in the world I've managed to make videos, because sometimes they're kind of lengthy and I managed to hold my concentration for about 5 minutes before I'm changing subject again, which I just did. Anyway, so the reason that I showed you this is going to sit on your spine. Now you're cutting, don't cut your paper. You're scoring it every ½ inch, and this might be easier to show you if I go ahead and chomp off the corners here. Now I'm only going to do it to 1 because I do want to tape this first. So this is your flaps. Notice how there is a chomped corner there. This is what's going to go inside of your page. So you fold this up and there's one. You leave a ½ inch gap. You fold this up, there's another one. You leave a ½ inch gap. You fold the other 2 sections up, fold that together, and there's another one there. And this one here, you can make it to where it only has 1, like the first one. But if it has 2, just go ahead and fold them together. It's not going to hurt anything. Because honestly, I don't know what else you would need that little scrap piece of paper for. And if you wanted to have 2 pieces on this side too, then just make it 5½ inches across instead of 5 inches across. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually glue all of our, I don't even know what they're called, hinges. We're going to glue all of our hinges together. And this is what, I mean, you actually didn't need to do 2. I am such a goofball. I just wasted score tape. But I will show you that again because I do have a couple more that I need to glue together. You do not need to put score tape on both sides. I flaked and decided to do that. So, you put your score tape on one side. And if you only have a ½ inch, you can do a couple things. You can just do 1, or you can lay 2 down. So for this hinge part, I normally just do the 1 piece of tape. But for the backing right here, this is where I put 2 pieces. Now, once this is all put together, before your pages go on it, you will need the measurements of this in order to make your spine piece. So, this is your spine piece. Now, I didn't put any glue on this side right here, just because I was trying to hurry up and show you guys. But we'll lay that down. Then the other piece. You want as much security right here as completely possible, because this is the piece that's going to attach to your spine. It is going to get so much use. So you want to make sure that whatever kind of adhesive you use, it's good. Okay, so this is what's being attached to your spine right here. So yeah, that's just about it. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to construct your cover. You don't want to put your pages on here just yet. What you could do with this is you could go ahead and corner the, this is called something. I just forgot what it's called. Miter, maybe? I think that's it. So you just snip the corners off of your hinges. And that's pretty much all you can do right this second. But you do want to go ahead and construct this. You don't want to just leave it for last. And the reason is you want to figure out how wide your binding system is going to be. And if you use 1/4 of an inch right here, it will actually be even shorter in width. But I decided to use 1/2 inch, mainly because all of my pages were pretty thick. I mean, some of the times I had to use multiple magnets just to keep everything closed. So I went ahead and used 1/2 inch. So anyway, yeah, you definitely want to construct this so you can figure out how wide it is going to be. And you need to know that, I did go ahead and cut this out, by the way. You need to know that so you can put this on your spine piece. So this will be our spine piece, and this will sit on top of it. Just like that. Okay. So in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to construct your cover and put everything together. You're going to put your pages on your spine. The spine will go into the cover. You are going to need to decorate some of the cover, but we'll go ahead and decorate all of the cover together. And I'll try to remember to show you guys the order of everything so you're not like putting your decorative paper on top of the inside of the cover after you put this on, because it will make a difference, and I'll show you guys in the next video. So anyway, that is it for this video. You just use those 4x6 pieces and you cut them down to size, and then you lay them out wherever it is you want to lay them out. And I will do a final flip through of everything to show you guys everything once it's all completely assembled. So yeah, until next time, guys, thank you so much. Bye.